You come home, and your yard is full of tents, kids, barbecues, and Karen from the HOA who's decided it's her territory now. Try to stop her? That'll be a $900 fine. On the third day, I opened the gates, and that's when the chaos began. But what happened next will definitely surprise you. When I came back home after 3 grueling weeks of field training, exhausted, dusty, and dreaming of nothing but silence and a cold beer, I was met with a village. Yes, damn it, a real freaking village. There were about 100 tents pitched on my land, like someone had evacuated an entire national park campground right into my backyard. Kids were running wild across a lawn that now felt like a bed of gravel, and adults, beers in hand, were picnicking right on top of my flower beds. Yes, those flower beds, where I personally replanted tulips every morning. One particularly enterprising guy had even hooked up a damn generator to my outdoor breaker box, my certified, professionally installed power unit. And now, it was being used to dry his socks. I just stood there, in shock. The smell of grilled sausages, kids screeching, someone's Bluetooth speaker blaring country music. This wasn't my home. This was a goddamn circus. And then, as if in slow motion, from behind the inflatable bounce castle emerged a figure I could recognize even through the barbecue haze. Karen. The Karen. Head of the HOA, in her signature mint blouse, sporting a give me your lawn pixie cut and lips the color of repressed cherry. She was smiling like she'd just caught me sneaking into my own birthday party. "Oh, Jason, welcome back," she chirped with the glee of a cult recruiter. "This is our annual HOA Unity Camp. Such a wonderful tradition. We decided your property was perfect for it. So spacious, so green, and right in the center of the neighborhood." "You decided?" My pulse was pounding in my eyebrows. "Who the hell did you clear this with?" Karen raised an eyebrow, as if I'd just asked the dumbest question in the world. "With the board, of course. Everything's documented. There's a protocol. Want me to email it to you as a PDF? You haven't been attending the meetings lately." How convenient. I missed a few meetings, so now my land's hosting a pop-up Burning Man with tents, bonfires, and lukewarm beer from a cooler. I was shaking. This was my property, my land. And now it had been transformed into some kind of communal kibbutz on the whim of a woman who lacked the basic courtesy to even give me a heads up. But as they say, Karen had no idea who she was messing with. On the third day, I woke up to absolute silence. It was deafening after 3 days of chaos, music, screaming children, and the lingering stench of scorched hot dogs. I poured myself a black coffee the old way, just like I used to back at the base, before deployment. 1 sip, 1 glance at the clock. 07:00. Time to begin. I stepped out into the yard, paused for a moment at the gate, inhaled deeply, and unlocked it. A second later, behind me, came the heavy creak of a metal latch. Then, rumbling, thudding, barking. 16 Belgian Malinois burst out from the backyard like ghosts of war, trained, synchronized, ready, each one driven by instinct, not to attack, but to protect unless ordered otherwise. Karen turned her head just from the sound and froze. The first bark was like a starting gun. People scrambled between tents, tripping over propane tanks, diving into kiddie pools. Someone screamed, "Wolves!" One guy, pretty sure it was yesterday's burger contest host, bolted toward the bounce castle yelling, "Help, I'm vegan!" I stood calmly on the porch, coffee mug in one hand, security system remote in the other. "They won't bite unless you're a threat," I announced over the rising panic. "But they'll make it very clear whose land this is." Karen tried to maintain composure. She marched toward me across the field of dread like a B-movie protagonist trying to reclaim control. "This is illegal. You can't unleash dogs on people," she screamed. I met her eyes. And you can't host a camp on private property without the owner's permission. Click. Surveillance cameras powered on. I had rigged the system to display a live feed next to the entrance. 3 angles, full audio, time-stamped. Everything recorded. It's all documented. The dogs didn't touch anyone. They barked, circled, showed presence, just like I trained them to. They drew a line, a very clear one. The crowd scattered. Some ditched folding chairs, others rolled up tents with food still inside. Neighbors who were gushing yesterday about community bonding were now bolting, not even bothering with goodbyes. Karen was left standing alone, amid the ruins of a failed utopia. Trash, half-grilled sausages, HOA United flags fluttering in defeat. She looked at me as if, for the first time, she realized. She'd lost. And then, I delivered the final blow. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't chase Karen off my lawn with a rake in hand. No, I did something far scarier. I filed an official lawsuit. My lawyers, former colleagues from Homeland Security, were absolutely thrilled. They approached the case with the same gleeful intensity people reserve for courtroom dramas on Netflix. All right, unauthorized use of private property, that's 1. Unlicensed mass gathering, 2. Noise violations past 10 p.m., 3. Public health concerns, no portable toilets, no food safety permits, 4. And this drone footage of Bob grilling bacon under a kid's bouncy castle, 5. And, as they say, everything was recorded. Surveillance cameras, audio, motion sensors, timestamps, just like our training ops. Karen tried to fight back at first. She rambled about community spirit, the need to stay united in difficult times, and even accused me of having a hostile attitude toward neighbors. But soon, a summons landed in her mailbox. Embossed seal, bold header, unlawful interference with private property. Then came the HOA board meeting. Karen tried to save face, claiming she acted for the good of the neighborhood. But the same neighbors who'd praised her on Facebook were now practically spitting fire. Why did she think she had the right to use someone else's land? She dragged us into this without our consent. She jeopardized the whole community, for likes. The HOA stripped her of her title. The Facebook group vanished. The number sign Karen for HOA hashtag was replaced by a single pinned post. Official notice: Karen S. has been removed as HOA chair. We regret the circumstances. As for me, I was formally, publicly, and in writing granted an official apology from the HOA, financial compensation for damages, and approval for a 2.5-meter-tall perimeter fence around my property. The fence now stands. Black, monolithic, reinforced with metal inserts, cameras all along the perimeter, and right on the central panel a sign: Private property. Trespassers will be chased by dogs, and beneath it, etched in steel, with love, former Special Forces Sergeant Jason McCain.